Okay, so we're going to be starting a meeting in just a minute, and we're talking about LLM stacking. Now, what is LLM stacking? We're taking multiple AIs or large language models. You're familiar with ChatGPT, maybe with Claude, maybe with Grok, maybe with Google Gemini, whatever it might be. And we're trying to see if we could get them to work together to be able to create the best possible outcome. That's going to be the theme for today. We're going to be going to great detail to be able to show you how you could put this into practical use in your life and in your business. But first, we got to let in the mob. Here we go. We have all these people coming in now. Okay, guys, we got everyone just lining up here, coming in. Real exciting stuff. We're going to be talking about LLM stacking. Woo! I know, all of you were just saying, wow, I really was hoping that Ed would do an event on LLM stacking. Well, good for you. I am. It's going to be a bitch and disco time, and I'm sure you're going to like it. Dina's looking forward to it. I could see the smile on her face. That's great stuff. So we're going to be getting into great detail. And we got Lena here. We got Lavette. Oh my goodness, Lavette's here. I want to hear about her international travels and what's going on with that. Really exciting. Melissa Scotch, Tiffany Goad. If some of you would open up the video a little bit, I just don't like being the only talking head along with Dina. But we do have a bunch of people coming in, so we're going to be talking about this and getting right down to it. So all of you should have the workbook. It was sent out in the registration form. Also, to let everyone know, this meeting is being recorded, which basically means don't say anything stupid. There is nothing private about the internet anymore, and if this is going to be put up in various groups, I want to make sure that all of you are have your privacy as you so want. But that said, there's very, very little privacy anymore because of the internet. Just know if you say stuff that might be a little silly, it might come back to haunt you. So my general rule is don't say anything your grandmother wouldn't want you to say, and you will be just fine. That said, here we go. LLM stacking. We're going to talk about it. Who uses multiple AIs at this point? Christopher Ulrich. Wow, look at this. Wow, this is a big deal. Good looking guy. Yeah, I could see why you get all the chicks there. Wow, yeah, good stuff. So, who uses multiple AIs in their work process? It's okay if you don't. We got Chris. Christopher, I might pick on you a little bit if that's okay. Okay, it won't hurt too much, I promise. But basically, if you start to look at this as working with a consultant, or I should say multiple consultants, I think you could get a better appreciation for what this is really all about. If you're working with multiple consultants on a particular project, you can then push them in a particular direction to find out, well, wait a minute. Dina said this, but Chris said something else. Who's right? Well, of course, we know Dina's right. But despite that, if you're able to actually get a certain judgment and certain consensus between AIs, that's something that you could actually take away from this. In other words, we've all heard the term hallucinate, or you should have heard about the term AI hallucination, meaning the AI makes shit up. It just says, screw it. I'm going to decide what the heck I want to say here. We're now taking a look at how we might curtail that a little bit. Aside from that, how we might get deeper and richer content going out to you. So let's take a look at some of these things. Let me just see who's here now that I might use. Mark is here. That's great. Tiffany's here. Lane is here. Who's in the waiting room? Hassan is coming in. That's great. Okay, let's get started here with a couple things that you should be fairly familiar with, and not just Zoom. I've got all this stuff all over my screen, as all of you, I'm sure, are familiar. And I'm just trying to see who we have here that we. You know what, Mark? I might use I might either use you, Mark Lawrence. Can you unmute yourself a second?
Sure,
Can I use you as an example?
sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
So let's say, Mark, let's just go through this. This exercise is going to take between 7 and 11 minutes here, just to show you how quickly we're able to get the outcome here. Mark, first of all, tell everyone who you are and where you are and what you do.
Sure. Mark Lawrence in New York City area, now on Long Island. And I am in the title insurance industry, helping people get their deals closed.
Okay, good. So is there anything unique about title insurance in the New York area that we should know about? You weren't expecting that question, but I'm just curious. And the answer could be no, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, actually, every market is actually has its slight differences. New York is a very attorney-driven market because most buyers and sellers are represented by an attorney in the transaction. So, because of that, most of our work in terms of clearance and getting, to the closing table is done in coordination with the attorneys as opposed to the real estate agents in other markets.
Okay. So good. Has there been any recent news about title in New York? Any recent laws changing, especially in the wake of your new mayor? Anything that might have come up?
Nothing major. I mean, there was at the end of the year there was what was called COPA, which restricted the sale of multi-family units. In that it allowed the state or not-for-profits to have a right of first refusal to purchase them. It ended up getting vetoed by Adams, but it might get by Mayor Adams on his way out on December 31, but might get overturned. That was something interesting and something big news in the commercial real estate market.
Okay. Okay, so good stuff. You gave us a little bit of an overview. Mark has been a dear friend and a good guy for the last 25 years. I should say good guy and a dear friend. Maybe, one doesn't have to be, it's not mutually exclusive. But here, the first things first, I'm going to
We've
say
had a bromance for 25 years, he's trying to say.
remarkable guy. Great dude. So
Really mutual.
let's take a look here. Based on what Mark just said to me. And by the way, this wasn't planned, so we're going to show you this warts and all. And I want you to realize that there will be mistakes and there will be things that we'll need to correct. But the good news is you're going to work about 1,000 times faster here. I'm going to say to ChatGPT, please look up and report. Um, uh, Facts about title insurance in New York State. Please give this as a report and understand that I will have another LLM fact check you and that this will be written as a this will be written ultimately as an email newsletter for a friend who is a title insurance agent. Okay, whether that's 100% accurate or not, let's just go with that. So we're doing that while they're working over here. I feel like Chef Tell in the cooking shows. I could say, please look up the bio of, and this is another uh, LLM called Claude, the bio of Mark Lawrence, who is a title insurance agent in New York. And please, yeah, that's all we really need. So great, we have that going on here. While that's cooking over here, let's see what this guy's coming up with. Great, so it's getting various title facts in New York, and it's produced all of this. Over here, we have this LLM looking up Mark Lawrence, and we're going to take the summary of this title insurance facts. Notice I haven't read anything yet. And I'm going to go over to this LLM. Okay, we only have three windows open here, Claude or ChatGPT Claude and the Claude that looked up Mark's bio. And I'm going to say to this one, uh, can, can you please look up here? You know what? I'm going to dictate into it, guys, and you're not going to see anything. Just hold on one second. Please look up the information on this. I want you to fact check the information I'm about to put into you. It's from another LLM and return to me any corrections or things you think might be wrong or additions that might be omitted, that might need to be added. So now that's a great app called Whisperflow, by the way. So I'm putting in this little stats that we just got. I copied it from ChatGPT, and this guy's now going to go to work looking that up. And what I'm going to say over here, because we know it's coming up, I just did a fact check on you using Claude, another LLM. Can you please review what it had to say, make any corrections and or additions? Okay. So while this guy's working on it, I'm going to look at all of you for a second. You see what we're actually doing? We're taking, to dumb this down, pretend we're three people in a meeting, Dina, Mark, and I. And we're here, and I'm asking Dina to produce some research. I'm asking Mark to fact check that research. And then when Mark says, "Oh, Dina was wrong," which dare you, don't ever say Dina's wrong. But we're going to take that information and go back to Dina, and she's going to interpret those corrections. By the way, LLM stacking, that's exactly what it is, taking multiple large language models. You don't need to just do it with two. You could do it with three or four or five. Again, at the end of the day, you don't need to go too crazy with all of this. I'm just trying to give you a demonstration of how this could be used in this meeting. Let's go back to the videotape, as they say. Okay, so verified as accurate. Okay, needs correction or clarification. Who pays for title insurance? Okay, so I'm going to take these facts that actually came through. I'm going to simply copy it and go back here. We already told it I need them to review, and I'm pasting it in. Revised incorporating Claude Fact with additions, tightened language, the structures structured. So, by the way, we could go back and forth many, many times with all of these things. I'm telling you, you don't have to in this case. Um, I just want you to get the understanding so that you could take this and immediately go out. By the way, and again, I'll look at all of you for a second. You don't need to be a paid user, although I highly suggest 20 bucks a month for each of these things is a pimple on an elephant's tuchus. It's nothing. It's no money. Spend the money. It's worth it. Okay? And I don't own these companies. So, that's there. I said it. Okay. So this guy has now, it's still working. And what I'm going to do is literally just copy that. And I'm going to assume that it's correct. By the way, have I read anything? I've read nothing. So don't do that. I've read nothing, but right now I'm just going through this quickly to give you the example that I promised. Now we're going to take this and put it all together. So let's do it with Claude. We could do it with any LLM, but I just like working with Claude. Here we go. And I'm going to say to this, um, I want you to write a newsletter as penned by my friend Mark Lawrence. I'm going to put his bio in along with a bunch of statistics um, about title insurance in New York. You just need to give us the raw data for now, and from there we will work on the formatting. Here's the information. I'm putting it in. I'm putting in two different pieces of information to you. Okay, so now, oh, come on. Okay. I want to combine two pieces of information to create a newsletter. See if he's working. Okay. I'm going to put in one, a bio of the person who's writing the newsletter, and another one that is the information about title insurance. From there, I want you to give us raw info, just the basic newsletter, no formatting, nothing like that. We're going to do the formatting a little bit later. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to put in, oop, let me just go back. Okay, so we have here this one. Sorry, guys, there's a lot of stuff all over my screen. You know how that works with, there we go. So first one, we put this. Now I'm going to put Mark's bio. Again, Mark, you'll have to check this out on your own. I'm just going to assume that it's okay. And we put that in. Now, put this together. Now this is going to come up with the raw combination newsletter. If you're buying property in New York, title insurance is one of the closing costs that often get overlooked. So here, this is the thing written by Mark. Obviously, I should not, when people say, well, you didn't write it, the LLM wrote it. So if you want to use a better word, we could say it was curated by AI. You're right. I didn't do much. In fact, as I've been saying, I'm not even reading the darn thing. But but okay, let's assume just for a second that this is great. And as I said before, don't do that. Don't assume any of it's great. Just know that you could go back and forth with the AI to try and find the best information. I do this all day long, by the way, guys. Now I'm going to say, wait a minute, this looks pretty good. I'm going to go out and look here, and I'm going to see, Mark, what do you have a website, Mark?
We have a company one. I don't have a personal one.
Okay, what's your company?
Uh, it's worldwide land transfer. Yep.
So this is the site.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so now watch this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to basically cut and paste it. And where was I?
To the right.
Sorry, yeah. No, gosh, just too much stuff. Okay, so we have this here. And now I'm going to say, I'm going to put one more thing. I'm going to take the screenshot. I just took a screenshot of the site, and I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to say, great, can you make a well-formatted newsletter using the style of this website? It doesn't have to be exact, but just try and make it look similar in font and colors. We're going to ultimately make this a landing page, but not just yet. Don't follow any other rules but what I'm putting in right now. Okay? So now Claude Code actually goes to work, and you're going to start to see the how we're putting this together. It's actually going to look at the image, and it's going to go through a series of code you're going to see in just a moment. Now, guys like Chris and I like to nerd out and see this type of stuff, and maybe a few of you, maybe Jorge likes it as well. But it's going to code this out, and in just a minute, we're going to get the raw output. One other thing that I might want to do while this thing's going here, I'll look up Mark Lawrence. Mark, you didn't know I was talking about you so much today.
No,
Lawrence title.
actually, I didn't even know from reading the material that I was started off as an attorney in the Empire State Building. I don't know how I actually
Uh,
found that.
is that true, or was it
It
I?
is true. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I never say that. So it's
Okay.
interesting that I picked that out.
So I'm going to just take the screenshot of him. He's a lot better looking than this.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a
Very
good thing.
handsome man. But we're going to put that here. One thing that I'm also going to do, going with the LLM stacking, you could all do this right now. I think even with the free version of ChatGPT, I'm going to go create the image. I'm going to put Mark into it, and I'm going to say, um, please, let me dictate it.
Make
Uh,
him good looking.
no, 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 no. This man sells title insurance. Please make a photorealistic cartoon of him with various real estate transactions going on in the background. It needs to be somewhat whimsical, colorful, and it should be an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. Okay, so this is ChatGPT now. If anybody's curious about how I keep getting all these images, I'm letting the cat out of the box here, out of the bag. And this guy's going to go to work on that. Great. So we've done a lot, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you. And let me tell you the good news. This is archived, so you could go back and watch this video over and over again. We've got the workbook, and best of all, you got me. Give me a buzz. If you really want to find out more, we could show this to you. But I want you to recognize that this is really the future of everyone's been thinking about it's all automation, and to a large extent it is, but I would make the argument that it is uh, giving you the ability to 10x your time and how you actually work. Now, I may not like this image. Already it looks a little bit too colorful, but let's take a look. It's coming up in a minute. And this newsletter here, Worldwide Transfer, Mark, this is your newsletter here. Let's publish it as an artifact, and I could share it with everybody so you could take a look at that. Copy link. And we're going to obviously make some changes. Let me move this guy over. Okay. Okay. So here's Mark's little landing page for Mark. Again, the outcome I'm not too nuts about. I'm not nuts about the green. Of course, it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do, but I would be making a lot of changes in this. And I want to emphasize that there's no excuse to not read. I hope I made that clear. Up, and there's Mark. Now here he is with his title insurance. Again, not the world's greatest picture, but you get the point of all of this. We could now, oops, where did he go?
All you have to do is edit out the double chin, please.
Uh, sure, hold on.
Now we want
I
it
can redo and
factual.
make you look more like George Clooney if you want,
I would
but
like a good jawline, not
a
15
strong,
Gi-
strong
chins like I
jawline.
have in
Okay.
real
Give
life.
him broader shoulders
Yeah,
too.
do something. Yeah, he's a very sexy man. Okay, so now I'm gonna just put this on my desktop. I'm gonna go back here
The teddy bear of title insurance, I think maybe,
and I'm gonna say this. If I put a picture in here now, would you be able to incorporate that picture into this work? You could even ask the questions. I deliberately want you to see that you could be able to do that. Yes, absolutely. Upload the picture. Great. This is a cartoon image of Mark Lawrence. I would like him to be incorporated into what you just did. Okay. So now you're going to see it go in code again, and it's going to go back in. Whether you love it or not is not the point that I want to make. The point that I'm trying to make with all of this is we've now been working for 19 minutes. And in that time, without reading anything, I've come up with content. The image is quite large. Let me create and update it. So it recognizes that it has to make certain changes. If I were doing this for a client, or if I was doing this for my own team, I would be taking a lot more time to put this together and to be able to understand. There's other things you need to know as well. Something when Chris and I get together, I want to tell him about. There's something in Claude called Claude Skills. You can make a repeated skill over and over again for the AI to recreate what you want. In other words, if I know my colors are blue and I want a non-serif font and I want to put lots of emojis or no emojis, or somebody on my team, Dina, wants something in particular, a logo or something, you're able to put all that as memory into Claude Skills. I don't want to go too far into this right now because I've already given you an awful lot. But this set of LLM stacking could be done for absolutely anything. Here we all are in real estate, and we know we've got some slippery people in the business. None of us here, of course. But you get an unusual contract, or you think that there's some terms in that contract. I oftentimes put the contracts that come to me into multiple LLMs, and I ask it to tell me what is wrong with this contract. Go through it page by page. What things should actually be corrected or thought about? And then it will make a particular comment, and I'll put that into another LLM and say, what do you think about what this guy has said? Has it missed anything? It's pretty simple. If you just look at it that way, it works and works pretty well. So where did his picture go? Is he still? Let's just see. Sorry, guys, I'm going to pull you up. Okay. And as I said, sometimes it doesn't work. Picture. Sorry, I'll bring you guys back into this so you can see. Picture is not visible.
Oh, okay.
Please fix. Okay. So you're going to see that they're going to do whatever it is. In other words, there's accidents and issues that happen all the time with this. Um,
It's like
and
drafts and editing,
yeah,
essentially.
exactly. You know what? In other words, it is, thank you, Mark. It is like working with a group of people where you sit around the table and you're just discussing where we fucked up.
And these
What,
pe and these people do a lot more quicker. I don't know if they do it
yeah,
better, but they do it certainly quicker, probably better than most people.
yeah. Now, while we're at it, I did do this before the meeting. Um, where are we going here? Is Ken here? Ken Mendish? I think he is. Oh, he was. Ken, I could see you're hiding in the background, Ken. I just don't know if you're seeing this. I did the same thing for Ken a little while ago, so I just want to show you, and again, the final result. I looked at what was going on. He's an agent in Cobb County, and I did this with the research in Cobb County, some fact checks, the bio from Ken, and then I actually produced the newsletter here. And let's just take a quick peek at it. Just to show you, you could get into almost any format. Let me widen the screen here. And we could see that this is a Cook County newsletter of what's gone on in his particular county. And it even came as far as coming up with statistics and numbers. And I basically did the exact same thing that I was doing with Mark. So the possibility for all of this is endless. Marketing materials, will never run out of marketing materials. You just have to ask what's going on in the actual market. Then you could throw your own opinion into it. You guys are not like just a single talking head. You could have your opinion that gets thrown into this. You could debate the whole thing. You could change and manipulate the imagery as you see fit. Give me another second here. I want to see
Ed,
if I,
question for you.
of
Can you hear me?
course, of course.
So we were talking, I was just talking to my assistant about a newsletter, and he said on Claude, it came up with a different format, the second time around. So what would be the way to combat that? Just say, please use the same format as
Yes.
the last time?
It's
It makes more
so-
sense, right?
sometimes the easiest
Formatting?
answer is the answer. Sometimes it's really just that you
Mhm.
just need
Okay.
to um, seek out the simplest answer to be able to get the results that you want. But yes, going back and forth and saying this is not good, this is something that needs to be corrected. The danger in all of this is that you guys just rely on the LLM. I mentioned this in the last meeting. For those of you who weren't there, there's a great movie called Idiocracy. Chris, did you see Idiocracy? Kenny, big
Yeah.
California kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's
A,
crazy.
a,
It's very crazy.
a kind of a loser soldier who has nothing going on in his life gets manipulated to be put into some type of deep freeze. They made him hibernate, and he wakes up 500 years later because of some whimsical reason. And they showed how the world was getting dumber and dumber and dumber. And he wakes up to be the smartest guy in the world because everyone else is just they never used their brain. They just kind of relied on technology. There is truth behind art, I think, to some extent, because really you don't need to be that. Once you get used to it, I know that this is a lot of stuff that's coming at you, but once you get used to it, you really can be completely dependent on the AI. I'll give you an example when it comes to learning. I oftentimes talk about how I'm learning computer programming right now and Python. Problem is, the AI will always give you the answer. The answer is just you could always cheat. So it's a real intellectual discipline to not do that. So that's my suggestion to you. Okay, question so far. I see Johnny's here. We could translate this into Spanish if you want. Okay, we got like a little hand going up by Dina here. Go ahead, Dina.
So if you do find ultimately the newsletter format that you want, right?
Yeah.
Would that be someplace where you would use that Claude Skills thing
Yes.
that you have to create? Like, this is the look that I want to keep, that I want to use every time. So here's my information that I want. Please use my Claude Skill Dina's newsletter to create the newsletter over and over.
Thank you,
Essentially a
Dina.
template, a template.
Yes, you create a
Mhm.
template.
Yeah.
Let's.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on it, but let me give you a quick Claude skill.
Can you
Uh,
only do skills in Claude or can you do in ChatGPT too?
who's that?
Lena.
Lena.
Lena, hey Lena.
Hi.
You can use the Claude skills are unique to Claude, but you could use the commands with ChatGPT in a very similar way. So, my belief is that the Claude skills are going to be kind of like the standard. Lena's too young to remember, but we all had either a Betamax or a VHS. And Lena, that was called a videotape. It's not something that we have anymore. Okay, I'm a
I
little.
think I had the like Disney movies on it.
You had Disney. Okay, yeah. When you were a little girl, that's what it was. Dad and mom ran
And
out.
Warner
Anything to
Wolf.
shut her up. Just pop the tape in. We got 45 minutes. Quick, let's cook or do something. You know.
His name was Warner Wolf on the news, right?
Was that what? Oh, let's go to the videotape.
Yep, yep, Warner Wolf. I remember him. Famous
Yeah, that's
line.
right. That's right. Let's go
Hmm.
to the videotape. So, so yeah, just to answer the question, all of these LLMs will take commands. What I like about Claude is right now it's the most versatile, and I will show you exactly what I mean by that right now. Let's just clear some of the stuff out of the way. Enough with this now. Okay, let's just start fresh, I think. Okay. We're going to do something pretty cool. Knowing that Claude Code has, I'm going to first show you a skill, and then I'm going to show you how you can make a skill in Claude Code. Again, you need to have the $20 a month version of it, and it's worth it. But let me just do something here. Look up a fun fact about somebody give me something. Fun fact about something. Shout it out. All of you. Nobody wants to do it. Fun fact
Tennis.
about what?
Tennis.
About tennis. Oh boy. Okay. So we got Dina with her tennis. A fun
How
fact
about no kangaroos
about tennis.
in Australia?
What did you was that Irina?
Hi. How about no kangaroos in Austria, actually?
No what?
No kangaroos.
No
Kangaroos.
kangaroos in Australia. Okay, well we'll do that next.
In
But
Austria. In Austria,
yeah.
like it's just funny because how many people book the wrong flights?
Ah, okay. So here we have this fun tennis fact. I'm going to copy it here. I'm going to go here now. It's already got the skill. I'm going to say, using the Edmund Bogen brand skill, can you please make an Instagram post with this fun fact about tennis? Now that's going to uh, it's going to first thing you're going to see is going to read the Edmund Bogen brand skill. I worked for a long time on my skill, by the way. Again, colors, fonts, style, tone, the voice, what we really wanted to do, what to do for a newsletter, what to do for the workbook that you're reading right now. Okay? Yes, that was penned by this stuff. And again, I want to emphasize we read all of it. We went through and made our changes. But the way I'm able to continually crank out this content is using is I'm giving you the keys to the castle here, guys. I mean, this is really the great stuff. So it's going to create, it's going to look up, it's already knows my skill. It's taken Dina's fun fact about tennis. Irina will get her kangaroo fact at some point. Um, and we're going to take a look at what that looks like in just a minute, converting it into an Instagram post. And we could do, if anyone makes YouTube videos, you see those great little images, the cover images, they call those thumbnails. You can make for a YouTube, you can make a YouTube thumbnail with this. So that's pretty cool too, that you're able to actually use this for some very real practical marketing in here. By the way, it's not limited to just marketing. You could use skills for things like accounting. Claude just released Claude for Excel. Um, Again, I'm able to go through reams of paper. I mean, you could go through all of your previous year's tax return, your banking information, and be able to get this. Okay, it's taking a little bit longer than I'd like, but let's just see what's going on. At some point. Okay. And the interesting thing, what you're seeing is it's finding replacing Google fonts. So it's actually discovering mistakes that it's made and it's going back and actually making the correction. By the way, this was not planned. I work with Dina. I didn't know that she was going to bring up tennis. I probably should have figured that she would. And here we go. So great. Now we've got this. There we go. So there, Dina, is your post about Wimbledon ball tennis. Tennis balls are replaced after the first 7 games and then every 9 games. After that, even if they look perfectly fine. why it matters. So here's this little thing. It knows the Edmund Bogen team, real estate in South Florida, and it's got a little tennis ball up here. Is it perfect? No. But it would be perfect if you actually took the time to make it perfect. If we actually, I mean, what did I do? I took two things and I put it in. There's no effort here, guys. So, so that is one Claude skill. Now, the question becomes, how do you actually create a Claude skill? First of all, you need a $20 a month Claude account. If you're not going to do it, you know, so be it. I highly recommend that you do. Here's the good news. Ed was wrong. You used it for 6 or 7 weeks and you think it sucks. There, you just lost 40 bucks. You're not committing to anything longer than that time frame. So I would suggest that all of you recognize this is kind of the future of computing, of work. I shouldn't even say computing. But let's take a look at what we could do here. I'm going to go into Claude. Now this is just, here's where it gets just a little confusing. I'm going to make it as easy as possible. In Claude, if you go to the lower right, lower left-hand side, you'll see your initials. And I could go into settings. And from here, there's something called capabilities, which I've just clicked on. And you could see one of the things they have is skills. Now I've got my weekly email team instructions. I've got my mastermind event creator. Hint, hint, hint. We're using this. Last week we did something with Greg Coggins and I made a brand of Greg Coggins. I have one for Nicole, a brand for her. And we've got various stuff. We've got the Edmund Bogen newsletter. So I've got different skills that I'm using. But here's the most important one. I've got my wife's business. She's a professional organizer. So all of her invoices and in a particular format gets done with Claude as well. Um, where's this thing? There should be a skill creator. Okay. So what we could do with this now is go into it and say, I want you to create a new brand skill. This skill should um, should be for somebody throws something out to me. I know nobody wants to talk, but somebody throws something that you would find useful for a computer to do for you.
Writing scripts for a video for YouTube.
Perfect. Okay. I want you to create this skill. This skill is for writing YouTube scripts. It should be done in the style of Chris. Give me someone that you'd like to style it off of. The tone, maybe.
Anthony Robbins.
Of
Tony Robbins.
Anthony Robbins. Okay, great. So we're going to do it in the style of Anthony Robbins' speech and tone, and even and a speech and tone. Let's close that out. The colors that you produce, the colors of the scripts you produce should be, I'm going to do something crazy, pink and orange, just to show you that you could do this, like, you know, you can basically make it any way you want. Please remember to make this file a zip file. I'll explain what that means in a minute. Now it might ask me some questions. And it's reading the actual creator guide. In other words, it's a skill to create more skills. It already knows about Anthony Robbins. Chris knew that because Anthony's a famous guy. If it didn't know, if it was a guy named Joe Schmidlap in Yorba Linda, California, we'd ask it to look up this guy. If you wanted to write in a particular tone, similar to Malcolm Gladwell, you could actually do this. So now here we go. It's going to start writing the skill. And from there, here we go. It's writing the skill. It's going to give us the skill in a particular format, and you're going to see what I'm going to do with this. And for those who are asking, can you use this with another LLM? Yes, I could copy this whole thing and use it in ChatGPT. Oh, look, let's take a look. You see the colors? Hot pink, vibrant orange. Okay, and then a blend of the two. I would never use that color in my marketing, I swear. But I just want to show you how it can be done. Okay. So let's see how far he goes. Okay. I know it's not terribly exciting watching coding here, but that's what it's going through this, and we're going to hopefully get this momentarily. I was hoping that this would be a quick one. And you can see also that it's coding out the the emphasis that it's supposed to make in the tone uh, of your script. Okay, great. So now the skill has been created and packaged. Let me copy this. Okay, so this is it. It's a zip file, but Ed, I don't see anything. Exactly. We now download the zip file. We go into settings. I know it seems like a lot, guys. For those of you who are pulling your hair out saying, screw this, I just don't want to do it. Just don't give up just yet. I swear. So here, now we can upload that skill into Claude Code, and it's in there. Now we got our YouTube script writer. Now, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to create a new chat, and I'm going to say, using the YouTube script writer, please write a motivational script um, about, I don't know,
Selling your house in New York City.
about why it's important to run every single day and how come, and give the advice on sleep, on running, on nutrition, and make it a 30-second script. So now you're gonna see what happens here. He's gonna go back in, he's reading the script, and not only is it gonna write it, but it should do it in that pink and orange format when it comes out, which frankly is kind of irrelevant because it's just you know, it's just you guys doing the workout here. Approximately 30 seconds. Okay, so let's see if is it going to do it? Copying outputs, presenting file. Let's take a look if it's going to do the whole thing. Okay, it didn't do it in the daily running script. I could say, please do it in the format that was given with colors as stated in the skill. So 30-second motivational speech, host facing camera, warm lighting, pink, orange gradient background. Listen to me, your body was built to move. Every single day, you have a choice. Build. Run for just 20 minutes and you flood your brain with endorphins. Okay, so I'm not a huge Tony Robbins follower, but my guess is that some of this is in the style that he's doing. Let's just take a look if it actually does this with the colors. Okay, it misinterpreted what I had said, and it's showing what you should probably do on screen with the colors because we said it was a script. But you get the point. It took the commands that I actually gave, and it created a skill for us. Um, and with that, you're able to, again, it was a very simple explanation, a very simple kind of script. But if you want to go a little bit deeper, you want it to act like a CPA. You have a very specific set of issues that you need discussed as a unique tax information, a unique thing of where you are. You could create a skill that is just truly unique to you. I use it mostly for marketing, as I think all of you are in need of that. But we could create a skill which really looks for very specific items in writing, and I think that's really important to all of you. So that is my 10-cent tour of all of this. I hope that was helpful. Right now, we could take some questions before we get to wants, needs, and brags. Thoughts? Kenny liked it. He gave me some thumbs up. That's nice. Any ideas of how you would use this in your own day to day? See, what's missing from here is you. You need to stop and think through what it is that you're doing on a day-to-day basis that you really need to accomplish. Unfortunately, it's the hardest thing for you to think of on demand. You got to suddenly think about what is it that I'm doing because you're so used to your routine. You need to make your sales calls. You need to go and see whoever you're going to see. Um, so you need to decide for yourself just what you could do. If you had the perfect scenario, if you had someone working for you, what would that person do for you? If you could answer that question, we could build a skill around it and we could build a workflow and we could do LLM stacking to be able to get the best possible outcome.
Yeah, pretty much any repeatable task.
Yeah.
So I'll give you one that I did yesterday because
Okay.
I'm a marketer and I have a
Could you tell
client.
everyone, who you are and where you are, what you do?
Sure. So I'm Dina's bitch. Um,
You're Dina's bitch.
but
Good.
I am an attorney slash digital marketer. And I was that computer tech guy in the 80s before it was cool to be a tech guy who became a lawyer thinking to be a tech lawyer, but really enjoyed the tech side more. So I moved into digital marketing, been doing that for 25 years. So for one client, we need to do blogs. So I'll go into GPT, write something up and say, give me 50 blog ideas. Take those ideas to Claude. What do you think of these ideas? Which would you take away? Give me some more. Take it all, drop it into a Google Sheet, go through, decide what I want to keep and not keep, and then use something like a skill or a custom GPT to have it go through those, follow a format, follow a structure, and write the first draft for me. So I
Mhm.
find it useful that if it's something that is repeatable, that you're going to use over and over and over again, that's something you can build a skill around.
Sure. Yeah. If you're able to, you know, a lot of this is also the work you would never have done. I never would have written a workbook for you guys. I just wouldn't have had the time or capacity to do what we do. So it's made this actually better if you use it. I mean, we really do put a lot of time and effort into these workbooks, and we stand by the content that we put out there. So it's important. Tiffany, please unmute yourself and tell everyone who you are and where you are, and then we'll get on to Livette.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Tiffany. I work in the Boca office with Edmund and Dina, and maybe is Gianna here? No.
She
Anyway,
was. I
you,
think she's here somewhere. Okay, go on.
so yesterday I do have a question, and
Okay.
yesterday I used Ellie AI. I don't know if you've talked about that on here. I don't remember, but to try to get a price on a house. And then I compared it with MLS and the tax because it really is kind of all over the place. It was priced like very high, and the houses surrounding are, but the recent sales just don't justify the high pricing that these other houses on the market are. So, do you compare LEAI to ChatGPT? I do pay for the ChatGPT, but I really don't use it for MLS, which might be dumb. I don't know. But do you ever do that? Do you compare the two
Well, first, there is no dumb
platforms?
because people only started using this in 2023, and very few people did then. So, just FYI, let's talk about how new all of this is. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I'm a super user. Chris is a super user. Some of you are super users just because, I would suspect that Chris, like me, is an early adopter to a lot of things. You tend to do that. So that's one. Two, um, I really haven't used the LE app. This is a unique app made by Douglas Elliman. Most people here are not with Douglas Elliman Real Estate. So the answer is we should probably get together and compare notes, or maybe do a quick
Okay.
10-minute Zoom to see. Um, I just don't know what it's able to access. Sometimes it picks things up. Sometimes, the problem with anything MLS You are the beach's MLS. I know that because we're in the same office. But sometimes someone from Miami could get the listing and put it on their MLS.
Hmm.
And while technically it's on the MLS and most people can read it, a lot of times it's missed. A lot
Right,
of
right.
times we miss stuff when we give our real
I've
estate
had that.
reports. It's a real pain in the
Hmm.
ass. By the way, it just gave me an idea. I could probably create a skill around that, but we'll talk about that at some other point.
Nice.
Levette, and then after Levette, we're going to go through one more quick exercise here. But Levette, please tell everyone who you are and where you are.
Hola, I'm Lavette
Hello.
from Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you, you said something about workbooks. I have been playing around with a idea. I wanted to create a couple workbooks for some clients,
Mhm.
and I wanted to do that through, I guess, Chat GPT because that's the only one that I pay for right now.
Okay.
Where would I send once it's created? Where is it just a particular printing company or just you can kind of use anyone to print these workbooks?
Well, what you want is to create it. The easiest thing for you, and Chris could either agree or disagree, is to create it into a PDF and then
PDF.
take that to, what, do they call Kinko's anymore? I mean, I guess it's FedEx printing or print it on your own. That's
Mhm.
usually the easiest way to do something.
Okay.
I would watch this video over again because you'll pick up things. This is on, if you go to Bogen.ai, a website, by the way, that was created entirely by AI,
Mhm.
Bogen.ai. There's also a skills section where when I come up with great skills, I'm going to be sharing them with you. As you learn about skills more and more, I'm banking on that as being the VHS, not the Betamax. I'm banking on Claude being skills being something that's going to be used universally, and I'm trying to make a market exchange for it. So
Mhm.
if you actually, while I've got you here, this is it. Bogan.ai. Uh, Again, we have a little information about me and then the services and our mastermind, a blog that we embarrassingly have really done very little with, which I really do need to do something, failed to log blog posts because there aren't any. And then the archive of all the videos. This video of today's meeting will go here. So if anyone's curious to get some of this, we're going to be making this password protected for you guys pretty soon. But for now, it's wide open. So if you want to watch past videos of these meetings, it's kind of cool. Um, I'm not a web developer. I want to be very clear, but I built this using AI. And that's where we're at right now. So if you have a friend that wants to start a website development business, I would tell them to be very mindful of pricing. I think it's still going to be something that all of you will want to, I don't think web developers are going to go anywhere, but I think the price is going to drop exponentially as it already has on the creation of these things. You know what I mean? It's just there's just today there's a term that's come out by the CEO of Claude has said software on demand. That's where we're at right now. If you're seeing like the world's greatest, I've got a friend who's building a very complex software, and I was just telling him, I won't tell you who it is, don't. The amount of resources he's putting into it is an old school 5 years ago kind of way people did it, and he's about to get his ass kicked because I just know it, and he's not listening to me. It's very frustrating. I know how easy it is to create these things now. Relatively, I mean, again, if you get on it and say this isn't easy at all, it's just a repeatable skill. Once you actually learn it, you'll get better and better and better at these things. I'm trying to think what else we were going to show you. Who else? Who else? Other questions we may have. Oh, there is one thing. Lena, are you still with us?
Yes,
Okay, can you show yourself or are we hiding today?
yes, I can show myself.
Okay,
No,
let's see. Where is she? Okay, so Lena is
dark
she and I
picture.
she's okay, she's something's in front of your
Can you
camera, I
come up
think.
with it?
She's hiding in the dark.
It's
She's
windy and
camping.
rainy here
Okay,
today.
okay, you didn't. Yeah, okay, there we go. So Lena is a friend and a fellow agent and a developer of various tools. She's got one that I think all of you really ought to know about. I already hooked her up with Tiffany. Lena, you want to tell everyone what you're doing? And by the way, I'm not. on her board or getting any money for this. I just think she's got a great idea. So please share.
Hi guys, my name is Lena. I started working on a platform called Page, which is basically kind of like an Uber for an assistant um, on an as needed basis for anything real estate related. So it's a way to leverage your workforce because right now, you either have an assistant full time or you're splitting your commission. So what Page allows you to do is say, hey, I'm in Boca, I have a showing in Miami, I need someone to cover it. You post it, and then someone in the area would get notified, and you can track their location in relation to the house, get live feedback. Client wants another bedroom, client wants another bath, and you can sit back and have someone else fulfill the task for you on a pay per task basis. They're not entitled to the commission, and it's for any task real estate related, assistant related, and there's no stealing each other's clients because you're protected. And there's a rating system so you can see, okay, what agent is best suited for each task. And yeah.
Yeah. So so I go away. I have suddenly somebody rings, Ed, I want to show 1234 Banana Street. I could go to Lena's platform and then I could put out there that I need someone to show 1234 Banana Street and I'm willing to pay $100 for the showing. $50. I don't know what the dollar amount is. I'm going to be able to read the bios of the people who've put themselves out there, right?
Yeah.
Elena? You're going to be able to understand this. And, people say, well, what if you get a bad person? Well, then they get thrown out of the system. You could get a bad Uber driver too. You
And
could
there's
get,
ratings. So you can see,
and there's
okay,
ratings.
Ed gave ratings. You can see
Uh,
ratings for every person, and it's any task. So it's showings, anything you might need. There's general tasks too. So if you want to add something that we don't already have, you can put it in there.
So I love the concept. I think it's really smart. We need licensed agents to do that. She's hitting the Boca and Miami area and New York and maybe LA. She's going to hit the bigger, most populated areas. And I would say to all of you, actually, Lena, I don't know if can you put your contact info into the
Yeah.
chat? Please, if you're interested in learning more about this, or if you know of anybody that would be a good fit, either on the listing end that you've got a listing and you need the support, or right now, probably more importantly, wanting to work it, let's say you just have your license and you're not trying to market yourself too much. It could be a good little means to pick up a little bit of extra cash. And if what she really needs more than anything else is growth. She needs to be able to get this to a critical size with the right people and the right thing. I think it's a great idea. I think it's sensational. I think it's worth it. I think she's genius. I think she's fabulous. You got to get to know Lena. And that's my pitch. I think it's just a really smart idea because you get a listing, you go away. What do I do? I don't want to tell this person. I don't want to split the commission. I don't want to find it. And from your perspective, you're probably right. It's not that much work to necessarily open the door, but you need to get the right person to do it. That's what she's doing. So that's what did I say that right, Lena?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time of the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. I'm bragging about Lena. I think she's the greatest, and we had a
Thank
great
you.
lunch this week. It was just
Yeah, we did.
it
It
was
was
just
really
terrific.
nice.
I also want to brag about she's not here, um, and I'm forgetting her name because I'm having a senior moment. But we now have a property under contract. I'm going to find this in Linda O'Connor, who referred a buyer to us probably a year ago. We now are under contract with them, and we're going to be closing in a few weeks. So thank you to her. That's what, yeah, woohoo, gotta love it. Lavette, please talk to me.
Um, so I wanted to know if there's anyone in the group that does remote real estate. I would love to be able to chat with you. Some of you may know that I went to Panama, went on a solo trip for a couple of weeks, and I absolutely love it.
Are you there
And,
now?
huh?
Are you there now?
No, I came
Oh,
back on Christmas Day.
okay.
So I do plan on moving. So yeah, I wanted to, learn more about real estate, remote real estate. And
But
Ed,
hold
I
on,
did.
what is remote real estate? Am I the only one who?
So I think I told you this before. I am pretty 99.9% listing agent. I don't really work with buyers at all. So remote is basically living somewhere and selling, like I would be living in Panama, but still selling over here. I would
Okay.
be using a boots on the ground agent, just to show up to the listing appointments. And this is how I see it. I would be either on FaceTime or Zoom with them. And so basically, my boots on the ground agent would be showing up to the listing appointment. And just after I get the listing, they just basically would be putting a lockbox on the door. I would be doing all the marketing, negotiation, remotely.
Lena, meet Levette. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I,
can
I,
help.
I don't know of too many people who've just successfully built and gone on. I know it can be done.
Yeah.
I know that just because I don't know anybody, I certainly know we've got the tools and the skills today and the people that
Hmm.
want to, to me, the biggest thing is trust.
Yes.
Um, and perhaps some of the contracts that get drawn up between you to make sure that you don't get screwed over. And
Yeah.
most importantly, that the client gets served properly. You
Right.
see, people
Yeah.
like Dina and I, because we don't screw around. I mean, there's a lot of agents out there that screw everything up. So
Yeah.
that's something that you need to do. But
Mhm.
we'll talk. Anybody have any ideas for
Yeah.
Levette? Anyone heard of anyone doing business like that? Mark, you know any agents that are working that way or
I
anyone?
mean, I did
Not
both sides.
completely, but it's interesting.
Okay. Kenny Bellini, tell everyone where
Yeah,
you
I've
are.
done it more. I've done it more with a network situation with other agents, or just, I did one last year in Marin County above San Francisco, and I just pulled in somebody that I paid him, hourly to go do the inspection, do stuff like that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Or, I've got somebody in Texas I work with, so I've just like Edmund, you get agents to refer to, but to, work some type of deal, but
I,
I
going
don't
back
know.
to as I listened to you speak, Kenny, going back to what Lena had said before, somebody could build a bang up business for
Yeah,
themselves just doing that,
Hmm.
totally.
just
Yeah,
being a
we
temp.
have we
Yeah,
have like also as showings like have someone sit in on an inspection, like anything related,
yeah,
just find someone to do it per task.
yeah.
So
Right. Yeah,
If
that's what I needed. Yeah.
you could
yeah,
get
we have that on there. We have
if you
anything like related, it's on there.
get busy enough to
Okay.
make a few $100s a day, that not everyone wants to make multi-million dollars in this business.
Right.
Not everyone wants to work their ass off. And some people want, I mean, and one of the things I love about real estate, I bust my ass to be a dominant guy in a very expensive farm, but that's my choice. That doesn't
Hmm.
have to be your choice. That doesn't have to be the way you want to live. And I am big stakes, big risk. I do it all the time. That's my thing. There's other people that come here that do 200 deals a year at between two and $300,000, and that's great. That's what they want.
Hmm. Yeah.
Unless they're saying, well, I don't see myself swimming in those circles or I don't fit in. That's what
Right.
now then I'm going to maybe Tony Robbins you a little bit or talk a little psychologically to you about why you shouldn't think that way. But one of the brilliant things about real estate is you could truly fit it into your lifestyle, but it's got to be by design. You've got to stop and think through what it is, just as you've got to stop and think through about these different skills that you could use.
And
Um,
actually, I have one more thing, Ed.
Go ahead.
Got my broker's license.
Mazel tov. Okay, fabulous. We love that.
Thank you.
You got your broker's license. That's good. So now, Levette, you've gone from some very shaky ground to doing some great stuff. I'm very proud of you. I'm very
Yeah.
proud that you've
I
come
had a great
here.
year. Thanks
Yeah,
to and thanks to this group and
thank you.
other little circles that I belong in. But after I spoke with you, you actually, lit fire up under me, and I just was like, you know what, you gave me some great ideas, and I just kind of took off, and I just been um consistent, disciplined, and yeah, it's been working out for me.
It's great. It's great. Listen, so keep going. You can. There's so much that all of you could do. If you want to get together and talk about it, just talk about what the next steps are, please let me know. Anyone else? I don't want to just cut out. Our next meeting is going to be on Wednesday. I don't have the topic in front of me, but it's going to be, as always, pretty cool. It usually has a bit of an AI bent, but it's probably, what was it? God, it was difficult conversations. What were we going to do? Oh, the perfect comeback, I think, is next. We got the perfect comeback coming up. You ever have somebody that as soon as you say something, they have that answer, and you're not the one that ever has that quick answer? I think that that's next week, but you'll be getting notifications from us. If you have ideas about what you'd like us to cover, please, all these ideas are driven by you. So if you think that there's something that we should be focused on, if there's a new technology that I'm missing, if there's a non-tech thing that you think has been neglected, please, please, please let me know. All of us are in different areas. We all have different focuses. Um, Certainly, if you know of anybody that would like to come along or go in for private coaching, I would love to meet them. I think that we've got some great stuff that's going on here. What is it, Miami? But we're launching. Oh, somebody was asking questions. Um, and if that's it, I think we need to go out into the world and do our work here. So it's Terry here. We don't have anyone to sing us out today. Okay. Usually we have Terry sing a little song as we leave. I know it's a little kooky, but we like doing that. Guys, thank you so much for coming today. It was great seeing all of you. Look for the video. It's going to go up along with the summary of this meeting. If you have ideas, do call me, and I look forward to seeing you next week for another exciting episode of Rain Nation. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.